in a world where loyal companions await, one place stands as their beacon of hope. The Pet Resource Center of Hillsborough County, where you can adopt your very own superhero. Adopt a dog. Find your sidekick and unlock the power of unconditional love. Suit up, show up, and adopt today. For more information, visit hcfl.gov/pets.
Don't let mosquitoes ruin your day. Fight the bite by removing standing water on your property. Standing water of any kind is a breeding ground for mosquitoes. Do your part and help reduce the mosquito population. Visit hcfl.gov/fightthebite.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday morning. My name is Susie Lopez, and we are here for the Executive Committee meeting of the Public Safety Coordinating Council. I'd like to go ahead and call the meeting to order, and before we get going, I would like for everyone to stand up and join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all very much. Good morning, Ms. Nappy. Would you do the roll call for us, please?
Yes, good morning. Ms. Susie Lopez,
Present.
Chief Judge Sabella,
Present.
Ms. Lisa McLean, present. Judge Jeffrey Rich,
Francis Peroni, present for Judge Rich.
Do you need the microphone on?
Francis Peroni, present for Judge Rich.
Sheriff Chad Chronister,
Chief Deputy Joe Mauer, present for Sheriff Chronister.
Mr. Nick Bates. Here. Mr. Mark Proctor. Here. Mr. Victor Christ.
Bill Barrett, here for Victor Christ.
Mr. Robert Parkinson.
Here.
Chief Lee Burkaw. Miss Donna Cameron Cepeda.
Present.
You have quorum.
Thank you very much. In your packet, and I believe you received in your email, the minutes of the April 11th, 2025 Executive Council meeting. Has everyone had an opportunity to review those? Thank you very much, Mr. Proctor, and we have a second from Mr. Bates. All in favor? Aye. Thank you very much. We don't have anything listed as old business, but I've spoken with Mr. Parkinson to ask for an update on our bus. Mr. Parkinson, do you have a positive update for us?
I do have an update on our bus, and to be clear, this is the Mobile Corrections
Yes,
and
sir.
Reentry Unit. It's not just a bus. But if you recall, the Sheriff's Office was not able to put together a project for their annual state JAG allocation, so they made it available to other criminal justice needs. At the same time, for the last year and a half, we've had the Department of Corrections talking about some of their concerns with violations of probations in our circuit. And they had proposed a way to resolve that, or partially resolve that, that's being utilized in a couple other communities in our state, specifically a mobile probation and reentry unit, which is, as Chair Lopez said, essentially a bus with staff that go around into the community to basically prevent individuals from violating their probation. It really addresses a lot of different probation violations through the enhanced supervision, but it's really effective at addressing technical violations of probation. So at our last meeting and the meeting before, essentially the Public Safety Coordinating Council voted to support that project and look to possibly fund it with the Justice Assistance Grant Program. My staff subsequently worked with Department of Corrections staff to finalize an application which was submitted by the deadline. We received follow-up from FDLE indicating that they were reviewing it. We also took the opportunity to contact the Bureau of Justice Administration in DC to let them know this project was coming up the pike because it does involve a vehicle that's not a patrol vehicle. It does require a certification and waiver. So we presented it to them. We also provided the white paper that Department of Corrections provided to this group. BJA thought it was a worthy project on its face, so sent it back to FDLE to submit the necessary paperwork. I also contacted the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Middle District because they are often brought in on decisions where BJA needs boots on the ground in terms of the impact a project might have. They also reviewed the white paper that was submitted to this group, and they concurred that it would have a positive impact on our justice system, courts, VOP issues, jail populations, et cetera. So they indicated that they were going to support it when BJA contacted them. So that's where we're at. As of last week, FDLE is putting together the necessary documents to obtain a waiver from BJA. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed. In the interim, because we always like to hope for the best and prepare for the worst, We've worked with Ms. McLean's office to prepare a alternative application to support some of her specialty court initiatives, and that was recommended by Judge Rich's committee last year. So we have a Plan A and a Plan B.
Always good to have a Plan A and a Plan B. Thank you very much for the update. For the people who have not been here before, what is the percentage, if I think I remember it, of reductions in technical violations of probation? I don't want to say an incorrect number.
So in the other two committees
Yeah.
communities where this has been implemented, they've realized a 27% reduction in VOPs, which would be about 512 cases per year for us.
That's what I thought it was, so I didn't want to say the wrong number, but
Yes,
that
yes.
has
So
a really
Judge
positive
Nazarian
impact.
could probably have lunch if this goes through on a regular basis.
We'll see about that. We'll see. Thank you very much. Does anybody have any questions about that? Yes, sir.
I don't have a question, just yeah, it is a question. Would be a possibility of having that bus down here for our January meeting?
It would not, because purchasing an item like this will take some time. It's not like going to the Ford dealer and buying a Mustang off the lot. We have to buy the vehicle, then it has to be fit for DOC usage, computer stands, desks, et cetera. I believe it also is going to have a component where they can get your analysis sample, so that's going to take a while. However, Ms. Lopez did request that once the vehicle was completed, they're going to be putting wraps on it as well, identifying all the partners, including PSCC members. Once it's done, we're going to have an event and bring it down here and either a county center or the courthouse or wherever to show off the new vehicle. We've also had some nonprofits in the community that has seen what the PSCC is doing, who have called me and said, hey, if DOC is going to do this, we are willing to send out case managers to help link people to jobs and social services of the like. So I think things are moving along as long as we're able to get that final approval from FDLE and Department of Justice. I would say within a year, but we'll try and expedite it as much as we can. But again, it's not something we can go buy off the lot.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Parkinson. Anyone else have any other old business? Yes, sir.
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Proctor.
At our last meeting, we had talked about looking at new facilities, and I hadn't heard anything. I'm on that committee talking about the new courthouse. Do we have any update on that?
Well,
Not to put anybody on the spot, but I
yeah,
just
so
had,
I haven't heard anything regarding us moving forward from this don't have anything to report us moving forward from this perspective, and we do need to look into that. But the county commission is having us on the agenda, and we're expecting some movement there regarding going forward with the funding.
Okay.
So we're
So-
moving.
once you get the funding, then we'll have the committee get together. and look
I
at-
think that's probably the
Okay.
appropriate thing, and I don't remember who the chair of the committee was, but we will need to.
Well, I thought it was either Victor Christ, I thought. But I can't, I'll have to go back and look at my
Yeah,
minutes.
I don't remember who the committee was, but unfortunately, there hasn't been any discussion
Okay.
related to that, but we do need to get on that. But we're waiting, I think it is October 10th, it's on the agenda for the county commission.
I think it's October 1st.
Okay, well, I knew it had a 1 in it. I added a 0.
Thank you.
So just, again, to kind of cognitively reframe this from what we discussed at our last meeting, we talked about the unmet needs for the new courthouse. We talked about the status of the current courthouse. We talked about convening the Facilities Committee of the PSCC and combining it with the Technology Committee, which is the committee that Victor chaired. But to start working together with county facilities and real estate to put a plan together. We have historically had a facilities plan going back to 2016 is the last update. A lot of things have changed since then, especially the use of technology through the pandemic. We learned that maybe the footprint that we thought we need is probably not the footprint that we actually need. So there's new technologies, there's new best practices that have been implemented that we could probably assimilate in a new courthouse. We also talked about some of the efforts that were undertaken to kind of follow through on this plan, namely the county purchasing the property where the old Firestone used to be, so that we have that whole slot of land over there now, which we do. We also talked about some monies that were appropriated in CIT, the capital improvement tax, and the related plan for the courthouse in the coming years, which I think Chief Judge Sabella mentioned briefly at the last meeting. And now it really comes to putting the rubber where the road is. During the summer, this group typically doesn't meet unless there's an emergent issue. So I think just getting back on track and building up momentum is going to be key in the next couple months. We also talked about possibly having our facilities committee come and either present or talk about the consultants that we're going to bring on board to help with this next effort. I know Chief Judge Sabella has had some staff changes recently, and we'll have staff changes, so
Process.
making sure we get whoever's going to replace Ms. Justice up to speed as quickly as possible, because the court administrator is going to play a key role in making sure that we're all swimming in the same direction on this. But I feel good. There seems to be, interest in our elected officials in locating money for this. The money amounts that I've heard mentioned in public meetings are not to the level that we thought we needed back in 2015, 2016, but the needs have changed too. A good example is the recent relocation of the second DCA. That's in process right now, moving from Lakeland to Mirror Lake over in St. Pete. That building is probably 80% done right now, the construction on it. I had the privilege of going over, I believe it was last month, and kicking the tires and seeing what they've done. They've made some significant changes to their initial planning as well, and they had to reduce the amount of courtrooms in half. It's a DCA, so they only were going to have 2 courtrooms, but they reduced that to 1 because the need, was a little different than when they first did their plan, which ironically was back in 2015, 2016 when we did our plan. So again, there's evolution in best practices in court development, design, and technology. So I think our plan needs to be updated to incorporate that. That's my 2 cents.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else with any old business? New business, the next meeting of the full council will be on Friday, November 14th. I'm happy to report that Louis Vieira will be joining us. He is going to be our new city council representative in the wake of the untimely death of Councilwoman Henderson. Louis has agreed to take over, and so we're pleased that he will be here for the November 14th meeting. I will not be. Chief Assistant Renee Marotti will be covering that meeting for me. I will Zoom in from Tenerife if I am available. I'm taking a little bit of a trip, so I'm sorry that I will be missing our final meeting of the year, but I look forward to hearing about that meeting. Is any new business for the agenda for the November 14th meeting? Mr. Parkinson.
Would you like me to give an update on the mobile corrections project?
Yes, sir.
For the full council? So
Hopefully we will have a great update by then.
No, I hope so, and some of the other PSCC members, the larger group,
Yes.
are some of the ones that have indicated they wanted to support the project moving forward as well.
I think that would be fantastic. Thank you very much. Any other new business for the November 14th agenda? Any other business?
Did you want me to reach out to our facilities director and see if he'd be willing to come and give some kind of overview?
If you think that would be, that the November 14th meeting would be an appropriate time to do so?
I mean, we should have better guidance
Okay.
after the October 1st board meeting. I think we should at least have some picture of where we're going.
I think that sounds like a good idea. Thank you for that. Any public comment? Anybody waiting in the wings? No? Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
Mr. Bates, I'm looking at the two of you. Is that a motion to adjourn in a second by Mr. Bates and a second by Mr. Proctor? Thank you very much. All in favor? Thank you very much. Have a wonderful weekend.
Although I missed the.
I have a statewide Zoom call. It's me, Harold Pryor from Fort Lauderdale, Jack Campbell from Tallahassee, and